Hi, I'm Jim from Martino Center. Here I'm going to be presenting a new acquisition technique named Romer-EPTI. EPI is the workhorse for many neuroimaging applications, but suffers from challenging artifacts including distortion and blurring. To address these artifacts, we developed equiplanar time resolve imaging, which encodes in the KT space to resolve images across continuous readout. It addresses both distortion and blurring artifacts in EPI and providing multi-echo, multi-contrast images with high efficiency. It's also a versatile readout, can be plugged into different sequences with comparable temporal resolution to EPI. By addressing EPI's artifacts, we've been further developing EPTI and proved its usefulness for different applications. We started from 2D EPTI and shows its improvement in image quality and information content over the past few years. Next, one important question is how could we further improve the SR efficiency, which is important for us to achieve higher spatial temporal resolution to resolve much more detailed structures and functions for neuroscientific research and clinical studies. For some applications, we can directly go from 2D to 3D imaging to improve the SNR. So we developed 3D EPTI with high-dimensional spatial temporal encoding with much higher SR efficiency, which allow us to achieve mesoscale fMRI with much higher spatial temporal resolution and ultra-fast quantitative mapping. However, for some applications relying on spin-echo EPI sequence, 3D imaging is not that straightforward because diffusion velocity encoding that are commonly used in this sequence could introduce strong shot-to-shot phase variation that's more challenging to correct in 3D compared to 2D. And it requires long recovery time for the entire volume after the refocusing pulse, compromise the acquisition efficiency of 3D. One of the most important applications relying on spin-echo EPI is diffusion MRI. Here shows what we can get using conventional EPI after scanning for an hour at 500 micron. We can see in addition to the low SR due to smaller voxel size and diffusion gradients, there is severe distortion and blurring artifacts, and it can also be sensitive to motion due to the low volume TR. There are many alternative methods have been proposed to improve the SR, including multi-slab imaging, G-slider, and super resolution. However, they face persistent challenge, including distortion and blurring, and also sensitivity to motion and other artifacts, including slab boundary artifacts, SR issues, and B0, B1 sensitivity. So in this work, we propose this new acquisition named Romer-EPTI as a comprehensive solution to overcome these complicated challenges in diffusion MRI, which can provide 5 times higher SR efficiency compared to 2D EPI, corresponding to 25 times reduction in scan time. It provides high robustness to motion, where we systematically address 3D bulk motion, shot-to-shot phase variation, and motion-induced dynamic distortion. It also addresses the artifacts comprehensively, including distortion, blurring, slab boundary artifacts, and ghosting artifacts, to comprehensively improve the image quality. With the Romer, we demonstrate mesoscale diffusion MRI in vivo at both 3T and 7T at 500 micron and higher for the first time. To achieve this comprehensive improvement, it involves synergistic design of the acquisition techniques, where we develop rotating view motion robust super resolution Romer to encode the slice and readout direction, with the distortion-free EPTI readout to encode the phase encoding and T dimension, where the encoded volumes will be integrated in a motion-aware Romer reconstruction to resolve the high isotropic resolution volumes. In Romer, we use this thick slice acquisition to reduce volume TR, so we can acquire more noise averaging in the same amount of time to improve the SR efficiency. And this thick slice encoding is corresponding to a blade in the 3D space. We will acquire different slice orientations with this rotating view encoding in the image domain to acquire sufficient frequency information to resolve the target high resolution volume. Romer provides high SR gain by this thick slice acquisition. For example, a thick slice factor of 8 provides a root of 7.3 higher SNR, considering the reconstruction conditioning. And with multiband, it provides a root of 14.6 higher SR efficiency compared to 2D EPI. The rotating view encoding of Romer makes it very suitable for motion correction. So we developed this motion robust high fidelity framework with motion aware reconstruction to systematically address 3D bulk motion with the self-navigated 3D bulk motion estimation and correction, and also physiological motion-induced phase variation, where we use a complex value reconstruction to further reduce the noise floor, as well as motion-induced dynamic distortion, where we use distortion-free EPTI readout to eliminate dynamic distortion, which I'm going to talk about it later. Furthermore, we improve the reconstruction fidelity of Romer by incorporating the slice profile, and also the rotating wheel encoding avoids the slab boundary artifacts. The in-plane encoding of Romer is performed by EPTI readout. EPTI removes the distortion artifacts in EPI, as shown here, and also the ghosting artifacts by modeling the high-order eddy currents in the EPTI's reconstruction. EPTI's distortion-free nature is very important for preserving the final spatial resolution after Romer. Here shows in EPI, it not only suffers from T2 stop blurring along the phase synchrony direction, but the dynamic distortion it introduced in the thick slice encoded volumes will introduce detrimental blurring after the Romer reconstruction. And here shows the dynamic distorted EPI images, and here shows EPTI eliminates this dynamic distortion, so it can prevent this detrimental blurring in Romer reconstruction with sharp point square function by eliminating both this dynamic distortion induced blurring and also the T2 stop blurring. So EPTI readout ensures the motion robustness of Romer and further preserve the final fidelity of the spatial resolution. In EPTI, we also further designed this self-navigated EPTI encoding, including both a 3-shot version and a single-shot version, to achieve high robustness to shot-to-shot phase variation, as shown here. And with the time-resolved image approach of EPTI, we can achieve much shortened T compared to EPI, providing additional SNR gain and bring the total SNR efficiency gain to a root of 25 times. Together, the integrated design of Romer acquisition provides high SNR efficiency, motion robustness, and also distortion-free imaging with minimized blurring and artifacts. With this comprehensive improvement, we are able to acquire this mesoscale diffusion data at 500 micron at 3T Prisma. It shows distortion-free images with minimized blurring, the high data quality without any slab boundary artifacts, and we can appreciate the detailed structure such as the layered hippocampus here. At this high spatial resolution, we can start to resolve the detailed structures such as U fibers and also gyrochrome within the cortex. We've also shown by improving the spatial resolution, we can start to resolve these much more detailed structures in the deep brain area, which are important targets for surgical planning and deep brain stimulation. One critical challenge Romer is able to address in the design with acquisition is motion and its related artifacts. So here shows in a motion experiment where the subject moves the head at a large level, Romer still preserves sharp image resolution with high data quality, showing its high robustness to motion, which is very important for clinical translation and study in disease populations. Moving from 3T to ultra-high field, diffusion MRI faces much more challenges such as the shorter T2, the stronger field inhomogeneity, and also SAR issues. In the design of Romer, we take this effect into account. For example, we achieve minimized T, so at 70 it can provide even higher SR efficiency compared to 2D EPI to better leverage the SR gain of 70. We're able to achieve 485 micron isotropic resolution in vivo at 70. With EPTI, we address the more prominent distortion and blurring, and there is no extra SAR deposition than conventional EPI of the Romer acquisition. Here shows the data acquired at 70 with high data quality, and the arrows highlighting the detailed structures. Another emerging application of diffusion MRI is microstructure imaging, such as high B-value diffusion MRI. And we demonstrate Romer's performance to improve the SNR for high B-value as well at both 3T Prisma and the Connectum2 scanner. And here we use a single-shot EPTI in Romer to further improve the robustness to the stronger phase variation caused by stronger diffusion gradients. We also demonstrate its efficiency in a time-dependent diffusion experiment. Inherent from EPTI's time-resolving feature, Romer can acquire multi-T diffusion without extra scan time, and providing rich information for diffusion relaxometry analysis to look into the microstructure of the tissue. Finally, I'd like to show 3 example potential applications of Romer. First, we further develop Romer-EPTI on connectum-2 scanner, where we can achieve shortened TE and echo spacing to get higher SR gain, and we are able to address the stronger concomitant field and eddy currents within the Romer reconstruction. By combining the advanced hardware and advanced acquisition, we are able to achieve this 387 micron isotropic resolution in vivo, achieving ex vivo resolution for in vivo histology, showing the potential for neuroscientific research of these detailed fibers. Moving from neuroscientific research to clinical application, Romer's high SR gain allows us to achieve sub-millimeter diffusion MRI, like 800 micron within 10 minutes, on top of the comprehensive improvement of the data quality and the robustness to motion. And in the future, we will further optimize the reconstruction for further acceleration and online workflow and validation on patient populations. And even for mesoscale resolution, we also achieve further acceleration leveraging the data redundancy of Romer's rotating wheel encoding and also in the XQ space. We achieved 4 times acceleration, reduce the acquisition time for mesoscale diffusion MRI in 20 minutes. Finally, we are also working on further developing this technique from brain to the body to leverage its comprehensive improvement to address the more challenges in body diffusion MRI. Here is the initial results of EPTI without Romer outside the brain. Here shows the improvement compared to conventional acquisition of EPTI with much higher image quality and less artifacts. Thank you.